Alright, here we go. Finally start fishing. We've gone upstream many miles. I don't know, probably 8 miles or so. You hear that? Not sure if you can hear that or not. I got a rattle. I'm gonna do some drifting for some catfish here on the lower part of the Black Warrior here. And I have some floats here that I'm gonna rig up on a Carolina rig that we're gonna just set adrift. And one's like that, another one like that, one with a hole in it. We've got some sticks here, you know. Looks like the wind has changed directions on us. This looks like the wind is pushing us back upstream. I came upstream thinking that we're going to be pushed back down, but we'll have to make that adjustment. So we're going to start with oh, come on now. Okay, so we got some cut bait, some Bream that we're going to use, and we're going to drop this guy just straight off the side of the boat. And this is not going the way I wanted it to. We may need to motor back down a little bit, a little ways. And here I got these split, a little slight knife cut in there, sort of a razor thin cut in there, and we're just putting the line down in there like so. Otherwise, you could just put one of the other tight floats on. We're trying this out here. You know, we're just gonna let this guy go right down beside the boat, and we're going to be drifting some channel markers. Let's see what this can do here for right now. You see that? You see that? It's just floating there. If it were on the bottom of the river, that's what you see, how it's just floating there? That's what you want. So let's get us some cut bait here. And I don't know, we may just have to drift with the wind here. The wind move us in the opposite direction, which is completely different than when I first put in, but that's okay. We'll have this guy drifting right below the boat, and this guy we will just simply we'll drag behind the boat. Same thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is put this guy back in here. And let me get some bait cut up, and I'll be back with you. We got a drift sock today. Oh, seriously? And hopefully the current will begin to pull us back downstream the way it needs to, opposite the wind. And let's see what it does. You can make these out of pants, buckets, and you can do all kinds of things with them. But it'll slowly deploy, hopefully. Hopefully. Maybe not. Oh gosh. The wind's just pushing it back. Yeah. There it goes. It's starting to open up now. There we go. See how it's deploying there? It's slowly swinging us back around. And in addition to that, we've got our oars here. Okay, now the current's pushing us back, right? Yeah. Okay, so now, oh, dadgummit. I'm not worried about making too much noise now, but dadgummit, that's exactly what I want it to do. is it's going to catch the current is got us going downstream now, and we're going at a nice speed. And the wind has actually changed directions. Funny thing about wind in rivers, it just, you know. And if you can see, way down there is a marker buoy. And so what we're going to do is drift these marker buoys, have the drift stock to control our speed, and we can use our oars here to, guess what, control our orientation, right? And so that's that. And so the drift stock is doing its part. So let's see. Let's try some sunfish. Sunfish are really popular around these parts. Now these are somewhat freezer bitten. These are brim that I caught a while back, and they're got a little bit of freezer bite on them. And so what we're going to do here is a little swig of water first. Let me get my earplugs out so I can start hearing if there's any barges coming. Those of you guys who are watching, the for the mud motor aspect of it, that mud motor's running pretty well. All right. So, but anyway, always don't worry about that. We're not fishing for trophy fish, so we're gonna cut the head off right there and leave that chunk. We could get that guy. We could get 3 out of that guy, but we're just gonna go with 2 since we only have 2 rods. We are moving, barely. We are moving. And what I have here is my little shark. Oop, my shark, nasty shark bait stuff. We use some of that. So the first thing we're going to do is let's get this guy here hooked up. I don't have any sonar or anything like that, so we're going to hook this guy. I always come in through one eye and leave out through the back of the head like that. You know, that's how I always do it. And then what I'm going to do now is just, since they're freezer bought, I mean, they say it's always best to use fresh, dead cut bait. I just don't have the time. So what I'll do is do that, and then dip them in our shark bait, dadgummit, chum there. And this guy is basically going to go to the bottom of the river, since we've already washed half of it off. Do it again like that. Oh, it's not very deep there. Not as deep as I thought. This is an old, raggedy, rusty one of Dad's old reels. It is a piece of junk, dude. And that's what we're going to do there. We're going to sit this guy right there. And I'll show you how you're going to keep the reels from dumping over the side of the river. Well, we've got our oars here. We'll just keep our feet on it like that. Oh, see, that's why I don't like the version of this with the slit in it. It just rips off too easily. So, but we're trying different versions. If any of you guys do a lot of drifting, you know, let me know. Let me know if you use these kinds of things. And so for this guy, what we're going to do is just come in right here through the tail, where we cut off. And same thing, I go in at one angle and come out at a totally different angle. And just make sure you get all the scales of him off. I didn't do that for the other head there. this guy, we're going to just cast him out about as far as we can. And you can smell brim everywhere. And let's see what we can do here. What we may do, if drift stock's still doing what it's supposed to do, it's slowing us way, way down. You see that bobbing there? That's what it's supposed to do, guys. But what's happening is that bobber is keeping that hook and that bait off the bottom, so it won't sting, so it won't stick, so it won't, you know. So what we're going to do now is just let that sit, and we're just going to drift as far as we can. Just probably just but the current's a lot slower here than it is on other parts of the river. So that guy's dragging. This guy's dragging as well. We're using monofilament because we don't have all that flexible tip rods as a lot of guys like to use. It is just so quiet and peaceful here. So that guy's dragging a good ways behind the boat, and this guy's trying to stand right below the boat, although I can tell he's doing that. When you're dragging, it'll do that. So it's probably going to take us some time to get onto some fish here. But the wind's moving in our favor, and the current, well, obviously. So what we may do is set this guy here like so, below us. And again, we're just letting the wind and the current carry us. And so we've got it drifted off to the side here. And so the idea is that, you know, ideally we would have like 5 or 6 or even 8 rods, maybe 4 rods at least for such a small boat. We have one here, one here, one here, and then one here on that end of the boat. That way you have a nice long swath, but we don't have all that. So what we're going to do is go linear with it, have this guy right down beside the boat and that guy much further back. And so we're just going to just peacefully just sit here and see what we can do. So if you can see, I got my leg on this guy and I got my foot on that guy. And that's what we're going to do. And so we're just kind of trying to align ourselves with that buoy there and just fish this sort of channel ledge all the way around, all the way back down to where we put in, assuming I have that much time. And so and that's what we're going to do. Just going to sit here and have a quiet day on the river, and I'll check back with you guys if I hook anything. I'm hoping to hook something, but we'll see. Check back with you. Since I don't have a trolling motor, you think, well, how in the world do you drag? Just use the oars. That's all I'm doing. Okay, what I'm going to do with this guy is put him on the other side of the boat. There's a piece of junk. Tell you what, my dad bought some cheap junk, man. He just didn't want to spend money. He just, he just did not want to spend money. And so now, we'll take this guy, set him there, and so now you can see, again, I'll just keep my feet against it. You see now, you can see both of them. There's not much current here at all today. So dragging that guy and that guy right there is just on the bottom. I mean just underneath the boat basically. And so that's just how it works. Then we need to take up the drift sock. Because I'm not seeing much current. Okay, so we're set adrift. That guy's, he's hung up. Again, trying to follow these barge markers here. No luck yet, but this is how I'm doing. I'm basically dragging them behind the boat, both of them. It just seems to be easier. As with any new form of fishing or new method, it takes time to learn it, I'm dragging these with just Carolina rigs. I'm probably going to go home and instead of just egg sinkers, just put a piece of wire in it and run our own bottom bounces the way walleye fishermen do. And the wind is the deciding factor today, not the current. And so I'm having to get on the oars and just, keep the boat oriented. I'm keeping the butt end of the boat into the wind. Because when you're rowing backward, right? So don't get excited. It's just snagging on the bottom. And this is a stiffer rod, so it doesn't telegraph as much. It is hot out here. About to head on in because I'm about to get overheated out here. Got plenty of water though, but still. This is such a light boat that even a little snag can anchor this boat and stop it. It's amazing, really. But no hits, no bites, no nothing. And see, again, I'm having to do this the old-fashioned way. I don't have any kind of sonar or anything like that. I think it's about time I get some sort of... If I buy sonar, it's going to be side imaging and all that stuff, because... I mean, I need to know what's going on, and I'm just sort of guessing at it. And the thing I like about this dragging is I think that it will work with the floats that I have better, because every time that thing releases, it's going to add another sort of jiggle or rattle to that float that's on it. But see, I don't even know if I'm in an area that's even holding fish. I mean, that's the main thing, is where are the fish, where are they holding? We may be just drifting dead water. And that's always been my contention with fishing, is that, okay, one, how do I know that the fish aren't 50 feet that way? Or 20 feet that way? How do I know how do you know? Oh, it's just hung up, snagged up. had a little jerk to it, like it was almost about to get, almost like it's getting hit, but I don't think so. I kind of like this rod a little better because it's a lot stiffer, and I think that can still work with circle hooks because I'm using the monofilament line, 20-pound test monofilament. And so, and this is the same section of river that we were fishing the last time, you guys remember. But again, trying to stay aligned with that marker buoy there. And see if I can't see another one. Yeah, there's another one way down there, probably like a mile down there. And so, you know, all I have are these two rods to work with, and the wind and the current. And so, this is a lot like trolling. Well, it is trolling. I mean, catfishermen tend to call it drifting, but it's really trolling. Because drifting implies just no control whatsoever, whereas trolling implies control. A lot of people say controlled drifting. Well, it's really, if it's controlled drifting, then it's trolling. Okay. But it's not like we're doing 5 miles an hour like they do out in the open ocean, running at 20 miles an hour, some of these guys, right? We're not. We're just doing it like 0.5. See, I have no idea how fast I'm moving. So, you know, this is where sonar, especially the sonar, GPS, side imaging, down imaging, all that stuff gives you an advantage simply because you know what's going on. I can sort of scan an area and see, okay, are there any fish holding? Well, yeah, there's, in this little half-a-mile stretch, there's flooded shoreline and there's fish holding in that. There's oh, that was a hit there, I believe. Yeah, I believe that was kind of a hit there. I mean, just the way it just boom, you know. There may be a fish on there. We're running 3-ounce egg sinkers. Yeah, it's just snagging on the bottom. Oh, I think he hit like a tree stump or something. All right, we're just going to cast this guy back out far as we can. All right. Now we're sideways to the wind, so oh, I think I see what the problem was. Yeah, the float's gone. That's why it was giving me such erratic motion. All right, no worries or anything. Just again, what have I learned? I learned that the sort of clip-on float, it just doesn't work so well. And this is kind of how I test some of the things that I do. So we're going to go with this guy. We'll break off another little piece of stick here. Just a little stick. These are the same dowels I use in my other floats like these. Same thing, I'm just using them in different context here. Okay, so we can leave that guy trolling. And what I'm going to do here is go just like this. Just run it straight through there like that. and just rig up. Let me tie up first, then we'll tie up first. Yeah, that's why we were looking like it was kind of half biting. It was just, we were just dragging the bottom with the hook and the sinker. That's not what we want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I usually use an improved clinch knot here in this situation. That way the knot on the bottom is weaker than the knot on the top. You see? And that way it'd be easy to break off when it comes time to, when it snags up, because it will snag. And wet the line. Okay. There's that. You see, we're kind of getting off here. We need to pull back some. Alright. Okay, there's that guy. Now let's get this float the way I want it, about like so. And just put the stick down in there, and bam, there we go. Just see, just right there, just like that. Of course, by the time you guys get them, it'd be a lot. It wouldn't just be a broken stick. I mean, it'd be rounded off or whatever, square it off, and well formed and epoxied and all that stuff. So I'm gonna put this guy back out, see what we can do, right? Alright. It's a nice casting reel, man. You know, I don't have line counter or anything like that, so I have no idea how much line is out, but alright, I'll put that guy right back out, and there he goes. Now we can start to, that guy's way behind the boat, this guy's a shorter distance behind the boat. You see, again, way down there, about I don't know how long, half a mile maybe? What was that? I think there's just a lower angle on the line, so it's just getting hung up more. Yeah, we need to pull back here toward the bank more. If we want to slow down, we just simply paddle backward. Reposition the boat like this, so we're dead on like that. That's just kind of how we're doing that. So you're kind of learning as I'm learning, okay? That's a lot of times how I do these things. That's how I made these floats last year this time. I was just, you know, learning how to chum and catching catfish with cheese bait with floats. And I just said, man, I got to make if I could make a better float, you know, and that's kind of how I came up with that. And so now here we are a year later, trying different techniques, trying different things. Yeah, that guy's still tickling the bottom too, this guy's just way on back there. So we may not hook anything today. I mean, you know, we're just, again, you're just learning. But when it comes to fishing in general, I've had better luck trolling than anything else. Assuming I'm not just catching bluegill. Bluegill, I'd way better luck just finding a spot with either some rocks or some down trees or something like that, and sticking some worms off in them, and I do pretty well like that. But for all other species, I've had way better luck just trolling, just dragging stuff behind the boat. I mean, I've had times I've gone bass fishing with friends, and I just, you know, just take a crankbait, throw it behind the boat, and just and we just drift with the wind, and caught more fish like that than they did pitching up against the bank and stuff. So trolling works, and drifting is nothing more than trolling for catfish. It's just, they call it drifting because it's slow. We're only doing about half a mile an hour, but the principles, when you look at the way they're doing it, I don't know why they call it drifting, because it's really trolling. But trolling is, again, people consider trolling to be a much higher speed type of thing, whereas look at those cumulonimbus clouds right there. They're moving that way, and there's a whole lot of them. I'm afraid that they will, you know, gather together and make a big electrical storm, thunderstorm. But it's already getting late in the day, so if they haven't formed up by now, chances are they won't by the time we get done fishing. So, but anyway, I guess I've rambled enough. I'm going to shut off the camera unless I catch something. I'll probably talk to you guys next time. For those of you who like the that particular, I like this muffler better. Back to the guys who were wanting to know about the motor. I like that muffler better. It's quieter, and it's a little bit thick, heavier gauge metal in it, and it just seems to be a better fit for the application. But so, Damon at Black Warrior Lures, you know, signing out or whatever. Check you later. So that's what the rig looks like. Egg, sinker, swivel, float, hook, bait. That's, again, a rattler in the hook. Let me know if you guys want to do this. I'm about to head on in. Ain't nothing happening here. About to get fed up and finally pony up the money and go buy me some sonar. But if you guys are interested in that, just let me know. And let's see here. And you see the wind's doing that funny thing again. It's almost like it doesn't really want to do anything. But yeah, we're about to head on in. Yeah, see, now the wind's coming from my back. No, that's not true. I can feel it. But we need to get control of our boat here. We're about to lose control of the boat here. And these lines are about to get all tangled and wrapped around the propeller. Oh, where is it exactly? Okay, good. It's not around the propeller. All right, guys. I'm gonna make it around to the next. I'm gonna try to make it around to the next channel marker, which is, you know, less than about a quarter mile away, maybe. Oh, nice little cloud there, providing some shade. And then I'm gonna call it quits today. Let me know how you guys drag and how you guys drift and whatnot, because I'm just now learning this. And wind is coming from my back. I was right. It has to do with the bends of the river. I mean, it's you know, I don't know. It's just weird, but anyway. Damon at Black Warrior Lures. If you want to try out one of these little peg floats here that I'm experimenting with, the rattle, I don't know what we're gonna call them, cat trap, you know, rattle cat. I don't know. If you want to try one, you know, just shoot me a message, Damon at blackwarriorlures.com. I'll mail you out a couple, at least a couple of the sort of the prototype, and let you guys try them when you're out drifting and dragging and bottom bouncing and all that good stuff. and then and let me know how they work out for you, because I'm really wanting to learn and master this method of dragging and drifting. And all right, see you guys next time.